Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. I want to thank you for tuning in to another episode of Up Close and Personal with Angela on behalf of Aspiring Authors Magazine. For those that do not know who I am Angela Thomas Smith. I'm the founder of AALAC, which is the African American Author Literacy Awareness Campaign, where I truly believe in bringing awareness to brown authors all over this world. I'm also the CEO of Aspiring Authors Magazine, where my desire is to bridge the gap between brown authors all over this world and to touch on topics that's affecting our brown community. Today, I want to introduce you to author Jasmine Lynne Flounder. I'm going to bring her up and allow her to share just a little bit about who she is and what she's doing and what this
Hi,
journey has been like. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm great. So I want you to share with those that are tuned in, those that will tune in later, just who Jasmine is.
Jasmine is a mother of three. I've been married for 8 years now. I started writing when I was 11, so I've always been a writer. I just got the courage this year to just, branch out and publish my own book. I help out a lot at my church. I'm on the greeter team. Wherever I'm fit, I like to help people get through whatever they are going through. And so I'm just a helper all around.
So, what has this journey been like for you?
This journey was interesting, considering I started writing this book last year and I stopped. And then this year came and then COVID-19 came up. I was like, okay, I have to do something. And so God was like, he kept pushing me. And I was like, okay, all right, I'm going to go ahead and finish it. And so I just kept writing. And then when he was like, okay, you're done, go ahead and start publishing, get ready. And I was like, during the COVID-19, there's no money coming in. Where's it going to come from? And he was like, if you trust me, it's going to happen. And so this year, I would have never thought this year would have been the year I published a book, considering the circumstances of what's going on now. But it's been interesting, but it has built my faith to a whole nother level because I didn't understand at first, but now I do. So
I know you say you've been writing since you were 11.
mhm.
What made you pick up your pen when you were 11 and say, I want to write? This is what
Uh,
I want to do.
Well, my grandmother, I've always up under her and my mom, and so I always seen my grandma like she'd get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, and started writing. And so throughout my years of being alive, starting at 11, I got bullied a lot. And at that time, my dad was sick, and so I didn't really know how to express that feeling because I knew my mom was taking care of my dad at the time, and so writing became my outlet. And so when I felt a certain type of way, instead of being angry and fighting, I just went to the book. I just started writing. So I always asked my grandma, why do you write? And she was like, she liked to write. It don't matter what it is, she just writes. And so for me, I took that and I was like, maybe if I started writing how I feel, you know, things are start to, I can format it and stuff. And then eventually I start to format it into poetry and where it would just, kind of just all come together at once. And so when I start realizing this is what I like to do, I just kept doing it. So yeah.
Wow. So, how many books? This is the only book you have, right?
Yes, ma'am. It's the first one.
So, do you have a copy of that book?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have it?
Yes, ma'am. I don't know if you hear me or not. Can you hear me?
Uh huh. Do you have it?
Okay.
You can
Yes,
tell me if
ma'am.
you have it.
Yeah, I got it.
I don't know. So, would you like to share a little bit about your book with those that are listen? I'm
Yes.
gonna mute myself because there's some feedback and I don't know where it's coming from. So I'm gonna mute
Okay.
myself.
Okay. This book is just about the struggles I went through, depression, suicidal thoughts of not thinking that I was good enough, and I just like I said, I in the beginning I started writing on how I felt. So these poems were based upon how I was feeling at that particular time, And then once God kind of helped me, navigate through what I was feeling and how I was feeling, I wrote my testimony of how I'm overcoming and overcame certain situations. So this book was just to help people with depression. I seen my dad go through depression heavily. And so I wanted to write a book to help people, to let people know that you're not crazy. You just really need to just really find somebody to talk it over with, because it could be something that's just as small, but it grows. And if you don't talk about it, it just, gets out of hand. And so I want to be able to reach people to let them know, it's somebody else out here going through the same problems that you're going through, but you can get through it. It's light at the end of the tunnel. It looks dark, but you can get through it.
I definitely understand because I've been there. I battled depression for 15 years, didn't know what it was, didn't understand because I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't know,
right.
You don't know what you're experiencing.
Right.
But there were emotional highs, lows. There were good days, bad days, happy days, bad days you didn't want to be bothered, just days you just didn't want to be here.
Right.
So I understand. But I'm here to tell those that, that are battling with this. There are people out there that want to help you and that are here to help you. There are people out here like myself that have been there, understand, and transparent about it, because I want people to know that we can't keep being silent about things that's affecting our community and bringing our community down and pulling our community down. We keep hurting silently, hurt people hurt. And this time I thank you for that book. Your book is a book of poems and your testimony.
Yes, ma'am.
Powerful. Words speak.
Right.
And I don't take my platform lightly. People don't understand. I'm over here. I'm like, in 2018, I started this collaboration project, Word Speak. It was a poem, a book of poetry. It was an anthology. It was me and 13 other poets. We did that book, and then there was supposed to have been another book that followed, and another book supposed to follow right after that. But life happened. 2018 is like, after 2018, I released that book, and then I released the book called The Storm Is Over, Walking in Purpose. And it seemed like when I released that book, all hell broke loose in my life. All hell broke loose in my life. As soon as that book hit, that book dropped Christmas Eve. 2019, people tell you they didn't see me. I was non-existent on Facebook, none of social media. I lost my dad. I was hospitalized. So much happening. But God. That's why I tell people, we holler, we have faith, but as soon as something happens, we run. We want to run and tuck. We want to duck and dive. We don't want to own up to nothing. And it's time out. We got to own our truth. God been dealing with me with words. Like, he been dropping words in my spirit. Truth is one of them. Power, life, love, hope, help. Like, literally, like, and then he broke each letter down.
Wow.
Like, I got a calendar that I'm about to drop. It's on the way to me. I already produced it. It's on the way to me. I have a motivational Monday show that's dropping in January. I'm gonna have, and I want you to come on. I want you to come on. I'm gonna have different motivators on there and influencers on there, because I want people to be empowered in 2020. Right. It's time out for us walking in. We don't walk in dark too long. We know been in bondage too long. We know did everything that everybody else wanted us to do. Now it's time to tap into us. What's on the inside of us? It's in us. It's already in us. We know who we are. We know we are the chosen ones, and it's time for us to walk in that we are called to. Purpose is what it's called. Purpose. And he told us in Jeremiah 29:11, he said, I got a plan for you to prosper you, for you in good health, for you to have hope and a future. No matter what it look like to you in the natural. See, we got to move from this natural stuff. People got to learn how to tap into that spiritual, into that soul, deep down in what he done put in us, what he said he would never leave us nor forsake us.
Yeah.
We got to learn how to tap into that.
Right.
And I don't even know where I'm coming from.
You're right about,
I don't even know where I'm coming from. But you know what? I'm just so happy. I have so much joy in me right now. And in the midst of, I don't even want to say what happened before I came on air. But even in the midst of God dropping this in me right now to let me know it's okay.
Right.
It's okay.
Right.
And whoever's listening, somebody listening needs to hear that too. Somebody needs to hear that. And I hope that they are blessed today. But I want to hear some poetry. I love poetry. I'm not the best. I'm not the best poet, but I can put some words together.
Right. Yeah.
I love hearing spoken word. I love poetry. Like I say, we're currently working on volume 2 and 3 of that 3 volume collaboration that we started in 2018, and it's called Word Speaks, Hurt No More. And it's an anthology. The volume 2 is booked. It's filled with 30 amazing co-authors, poets. They're going to be sharing in that. Volume 3, we have 17 spaces still available in that volume, and we're looking for 17 more, because I want to get poets out there.
Right.
You know, we oftentimes, and then a lot of poets, you know, they don't have a lot of work to where they can publish by themselves, and then they want to publish their stuff. They want to get their stuff out. So I want to provide an opportunity for those that want to get their stuff out there and don't know what to do, don't know how to do it, and need a platform to get their voice out. So we coming together, we partnering. I got poets from India. I got poets from all over. Africa, they all over, because you know what? Everybody got a story. Everybody got a message. And everybody got a hurt that they need to share, so other people can know that, hey, I've been there, done that.
Right.
You ain't got to go through it. If you do go through it, hey, this is how I did it.
Right.
And that's what people got to learn how to share. People got to learn how to start sharing and stop sitting on stuff. And holding stuff in for what? Because if you die tomorrow, all that you had in you is irrelevant, because nobody got it, and nobody can't be from it.
Right.
I'm about to move out the way. I don't even know where all that come from, but I'm about to move on out the way, because this is you, and you allowed this. You sit there and let me do this. You're supposed to say, Miss Angela.
You on point. That's the thing. Like, this is what it's all about. You said it. Somebody needed to hear exactly what you just said. It took times like this is when if people are listening, they hear this, they be like, man, and they could be on a suicidal, on the edge of the bed, be like, okay, I'm done with life. And you don't know who listening, and they sitting on the bed, they done heard that, they be like, okay, I got something to live for. It's somebody else out here that dealt with the same thing, or dealing with the same thing I'm dealing with. Because like I said, depression is nothing that you just get over overnight. This is a process. You go through this. I still go through it today. But you know what helps me is scripture. What helps me is prayer. What helps me is call my grandma. Grandma, I need your help. I need you to push me. What helps me, hey, tell my husband, hey, I need you. I'm in a bad headspace. I need y'all to push me. And that's what does it. When you got them few people, and they all they believe in God, but they all coming together knowing that you can make it through, you're gonna be all right at the end of the day. But everything you just said, somebody needs to hear. That's why I didn't say nothing, because I was like, somebody didn't need to hear that. Somebody really did need to hear that. Like, that's just not off a whim and saying, oh, I'm just saying something to say something. No, somebody needed to hear exactly what you said.
And then it's been real crazy. Like, September, I dropped the suicide awareness book. October, I dropped the book on truth, Women of Indefinable Worth. I'm owning my truth. 20 women. We owning our truth. We sharing something about it, and people sharing stuff.
Right.
Stuff that people can be delivered from. Like crack cocaine addiction.
Yeah.
Sexual assault. You know, people sharing, because we tired of people being hurt. We tired of people hurting.
Right.
It's time out.
There's a lot of that.
I thank God for I'm a suicide awareness advocate. I thank God for the advocacy program that I'm with. They just launched the 988 number so they can dial star 988 now, just like 911, and can get help.
Wow.
Can talk to somebody if they need to talk to somebody. And then if it's at a point to where you need somebody to be dispatched, they can dispatch somebody immediately.
Right.
So we ain't got to keep losing people, because I lost in 2017. I lost 6 family members in 1 month.
Wow.
3 of them was to suicide. One of them wasn't even 15 years old.
Wow.
We lost her the day before Mother's Day. My cousin has to deal with that for the rest of her life. I will not be quiet.
Oh, yeah.
I will not sit down. Because there's too many people out here that's been in the places where we've been. And too many people that have stories, that have testimonies, and won't even share them. And then you got these people with platforms, but won't even acknowledge that this is God did this for me. I didn't do this.
Right.
None of this, none of nothing. And they can throw me off the air. They can kick me off the air. They can put me off their broadcast. I don't care. None of nothing that I do is possible without God. Because let me tell you, I know that I'm a living testimony. Point blank range with a shotgun right here, shot. Domestic violence. Ain't too much anybody can tell me that I ain't been through. But when I was going through all this stuff, I didn't understand. And a lot of it, I was in a dark place in my life. I can see the light. Can see the light of day. And there's a lot of people out here right now walking around, and they just they don't know. They've been lost for so long.
Right.
They don't even know which way to go. Which way left, which way right, what the sun look like, because it's darkness even when the light is shining. It's still in darkness. But I'm gonna tell you, until people work on themselves and get themselves together and want more for themselves, we can come on here every day and share.
Yeah. It's gotta be.
But I ain't gonna say that. Because one day they gonna wake up and they gonna say, "This lady been telling me this for years." I get it now. I get it. But I want to hear a poem, because we've been talking about. I want to hear a poem.
Okay, it's one called Scars. On the outside, I seem fine, happy, content, and beautiful. Even my life starts out as a quiet day. I sit by myself, and they walk past me. The dull stare on my face, is this the mark of my disgrace? As I walk the halls of school, wonder if they would say something. Do they see the pain in my eyes? Will I even get a simple hi? Every day I'm let down. If these tears continue to fall, I will surely drown. Being invisible really does hurt. Wondering if they even care. Will they even notice if I die? When I'm hanging from a tree, is this when I will be free? Maybe suicide is the way for me. I need to escape the pain I feel. I need a way to heal. It seems my suffering would never end. Realizing my scars tell my story. I do matter. They do care. But God's plans for me was to me to share my story here.
Amen. And that's it. Wow.
Yeah. That one was merely based in school, because I wasn't a popular person at all. I didn't understand for a long time. My mom taught me and my dad taught me. My dad was a minister. My mom was over the usher team at church growing up. But I always was just set apart. Like I just never could get. I'm friendly, but I could just never understand why I couldn't fit in. For a long time, I think all the way up until I turned 20, it started to click a little bit. Because at first I didn't understand. I said, okay, why? I'm friendly, so why nobody want to talk to me? And that becomes a problem, when you in your teenage years and you're trying to figure out, okay, what's going on? You're already going through enough, emotionally. But that on top of that, and I feel like I'm by myself because I'm different. And so eventually I was like, okay, what is going on? Like, I'm friendly enough. I talk to people, what's different? And then, later on, this is when I start writing this stuff and putting it all together. And then God was like, this is the time for you. This is what I wanted. I wanted you to not necessarily be isolated, but I wanted you to be able, because you have a testimony to tell somebody in the future. And he said, I wanted you to be to the point where I had you to myself. So I got you to write, because I don't know who that poem may be for. I know it helped me. Like I said, everything I go through, even to this day, I write down. Like, it may not be formatted, but I write it down because it's for somebody. Like, some things right now I'm going through, I don't understand. And sometimes I get angry, right? Because I'm like, what is this? What is this about? But I know eventually it's for somebody else. And everything I go through is for somebody else. That's why I've seen my dad fight. My dad had cancer. My dad had strokes. I mean, they told him he wasn't going to talk one time, but my dad's still living. My mom and dad, they've been married 30 years come next Tuesday. And they told my dad he was going to be dead a long time ago. So the fight that I seen my dad have, the fight that I seen my mom have, and my grandma have, and my grandparents, that was, it's instilled in me. So now when I go through something, now I'm like, oh, okay, I still don't understand it, but hey, I'm going to keep pushing. It's not always easy. It's really not, because it took COVID-19, I'll be honest with you, to kick me in the butt and be like, okay, I can't work. I got to be at home with my kids. I got 3 girls, 8, 6, and 4. I got to be at home because they can't go to school. What you going to do? I was like, man, God, I need to go work somewhere. I got to, no, I need you. You exactly where I need you to be. So he was like, start writing again. I said, writing again? I ain't understand it. So I started writing. So when I finally finished it, he said, you done. So now just publish it. I said, publish it. Just like that. Like, I'm sitting there talking back and forth. So I told my husband, I said, hey, babe, I don't understand it. How he want me to just go ahead and publish it. We ain't got finance for it. And he was like, make it happen. And I was like, make it happen. I don't understand this. You. And that's when that faith started to kick in. And strong every month in this year, it got stronger, and got stronger. Because now we in November, and there's some stuff that came against me, and I'm talking different. I'm seeing stuff a little bit different now than what I was. Like, I understand completely in this wholeness of why I'm set apart and why I was different and why I was born early. And they said I was going to die, but somebody saved my life. You know what I'm saying? So I understand my why. That's why I said it's what you said. Somebody need to hear, because suicide is huge. I wanted to kill myself. I had a gun to my head twice. Nobody knows this but my husband. I wanted to kill myself, but it was a reason I couldn't pull that trigger. It was a reason. They didn't just save my life 30 years ago just to be saving my life. It was the reason why I'm here. It was a reason why somebody needs to see this book. It's a reason for everything. Like I said, we never understand God's planning for everything. We don't. And it's really not for us to understand, to be completely honest. It's all in his planning. Like, I got pregnant before I was married. I was shameful of that. That wasn't in my plans. No, it wasn't. I wanted to go to medical school, be a nurse, and you see what I'm saying? I want to do a lot of stuff. But in God's plan, okay, I need you to go through this. I need you to go through this, because this is where I'm going to make you strong. And this is where I'm going to take this little bit out, that this anger that you got, I'm going to take that out, and I'm going to install some strength. But it's not from other people. It's going to be from me. So I need you to understand that man is not going to do it for you. I'm going to do it for you. So I'm going to move everybody out the way. Even though they're not helping you, I'm going to move them out the way, because I want to show you that I'm God and they not. I'm going to do exactly what I said I was going to do. I need you to repeat back what I said in my word and watch me work. And see, all of that, me going through what I'm going through this year, I was like, God, I don't get this. And so now November come, we about to hit 2021. Now I'm rammed up for this next level. I'm like, okay, God, I said, I ain't selling a lot of books, but hey, I guarantee you, my goal was, before I publish this book, if I touch one life, I did exactly what I was supposed to do. I said, I don't care about the money. I want to be able to help somebody. Me personally, I'm 30 years old. I have been through a lot. I've seen a lot. Like I said, my dad was sick. My grandma was sick. Yesterday was a year ago. She got home. They told her she was real sick. They didn't know what was going on with her. The most God-fearing, praying woman I ever seen in my life. And she prayed her way up out of there. And yesterday was the day, a year ago, that she came home. I've seen this lady pray. And if it wasn't for that lady there, I probably would have been gone, because she always walked me through. She always prayed me through. It was never, it never, whatever I was going through, She always helped me through. But like I said, what you said earlier, somebody need that. And if they ain't watching right now, if they I'm gonna go log on to see what was today's topic or who's today's author, and they hear that, they be like, man, at 10 o'clock, I was gonna go ahead and just commit suicide. That right there saved their life. And that's what it's all about. You said it, you hit it on nose. This is what it's all about. Opening up our mouth and able to speak out what need to be said. Because like you said, sitting on that gifting, sitting on what you've been through, that's not gonna help nobody, and it's not gonna help you. You gotta be able to want to open your mouth and say what need to be said. Because for a long time I kept my mouth shut. I said, okay, if I can't speak it verbally, I'm gonna put it in some words in a book. Somebody gonna hear it, somebody gonna read it. And so we gotta, as a people, we gotta get back to that, because our community, like you said, we so quiet, and whatever happens in the house stays in the house. No, because if it damages you, you damages somebody else, and you damaging your children's children and your children's children's children. And all that is, that's called a generational curse. And until we break it, we going through the same cycle over and over again. Of course, we got to go through stuff to get it, but do we really have to go through the same thing? You may have to go through it one time, but do you have to keep going through it? No, we could just cut it off where it is. Open up, say, I've been molested. Oh, I've been hurt here. Let's forgive and move on from it. Because if we don't, we stay in this place where we depressed, where we want to kill ourselves, and where we hate people and we don't want to be around people, where we just don't want to be bothered. We get to that point. But, like I said, this book is to just help everybody. I want to be able to whoever need, it could be the smallest thing, being a single mom and don't understand why the dad won't come around, or it's a single dad and the mom not acting right. You could get through it. It's rough nowadays. It's hard for everybody. And so we all need to gather together and stick together and working through, because we can be successful if we was all one. That for sure.
You just don't understand how, like, this journey, people see me do all these broadcasts, they see me across these different platforms, they see me smiling, they see me with this glow on my face. They don't know what it took to get me here. Mm-hmm. Because there was a lot of times I can't even count. I lost track of the amount of times that the enemy tried to take me out. My mom passed away 12 days after my 16th birthday.
Wow.
So that struggle. My dad was a crack addict. So that struggle. But before my dad left here, my dad was saved. He was sober and clean. And I watched that transformation.
Wow.
See, people don't know your journey. People don't know what you endure.
They don't.
Mental illness, I've been there. Psychiatrists, I've seen them. Therapists, I had 2 of them. So I'm not talking about something that somebody telling me. I'm talking about experience. I'm talking about something where I've been through. Didn't understand it when I was going through it. Like you said. No, these journeys are not always for us. A lot of the stuff that I went through, it wasn't for me. It was for the people that I'm going to come in contact. And some of me hadn't even been born yet.
Wow.
See, when he said we're going to do greater things.
Right.
We're going to do greater things. That's not just words. See, those words, they supposed to come to life. That's supposed to be life for us. And see, we've been allowing things to just happen around us, and we just been existing. We've not been taking part of life because we stopped loving. So let me break down what life means. Life means love, inspiration, the fear of God, the E3 experience, which is educate, empower, and encourage. See, we stopped doing all that.
Right.
See, we start being in competition. We start wanting to see what Sally doing, what Johnny doing, trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to keep up with the people up the street, people across the road, trying to keep up with everybody. And stop worrying about ourselves and our homes. And then when we worry about ourselves and our homes, then we worry about those neighbors, those beside us, But see, now we can walk out the door. We can live in an apartment complex. We can live in a cul-de-sac, whatever. We can walk out the house and don't even speak to the people that's in the yard beside us. What has happened? I remember when it took a village to raise a family. When people didn't mind you discipline their child. But now you got to be worried about, is they going to touch my child? Is somebody going to molest my child? Because it's no happen to you, but you ain't told nobody, so you kept it a secret. And you buried it, and now you carrying that, and you it's a lot going on.
A lot.
But I thank God for people like you and a lot of the authors that have come across this platform. Y'all share your testimony, y'all share your journey to let people know that it's okay. It does not matter where you are. There's people that have been there. There's people that's still there. Even though we on here doing this, it does not mean we have arrived.
Right.
We still struggle too.
And when you arrive, it don't matter. If you arrive, you still gonna struggle. It don't make, because what they say, every level is a new devil. So literally, okay, we got over depression, but hey, we got a little money in the bank, and we're doing pretty good. People know our name, and they see our face. But she doing something else at the house, and she ain't telling nobody. See, it's a whole, just because you see these celebrities got money, oh, trust and believe they got problems. Understand that.
A lot of them.
Yeah. So it's, you can arrive and be arrived. You think that and think that you're perfect, because you're not, because he's still working on us at the end of the day, because it's still something else that got to be pulled out of us for somebody else to hear in 2024 and the years to come. So what we doing right now is for maybe for the next 3-4 years. We don't know. But it's something else we're going to go through. Be like, okay, God, something else. Now, we don't understand. Like I said, we don't get it. We gotta comply and listen to God, because he our dad. So hey, what he say go, he get the last word, bottom line. But like I said, we can arrive, but it's called humility. For one, you got to be humble in this state, and two, you got to understand that any given time it can be taken from you. 3, and you got to know that it's only one person and one person only that can make this stuff possible. Like he said, without action, faith is dead. So faith, you can have faith, but you need action. And if you ain't doing one or the other, it's not gonna work. So at the end of the day, once you stop praying and stop having faith and stop all that stuff, start to eventually go downhill. So like I said, it don't matter. Like I said, this depression thing, it's a little bit. One day I can get up and be like, look, ain't forward. I don't want to deal with it. But I get my butt out that bed, be like, nope, not going backwards. Not going backwards, because I'm not doing it. I've came too far for me to go back. You see what I'm saying? You may struggle with it a little bit, but hey, God be like, nah, get up, go put some clothes on, go put your hair up, do something, because going back is only gonna digress, and that's not a good place. Because once you go back, it get worse. So keep pushing, y'all. Keep pushing.
I told one of my friends, I don't know what it is. I told one of my friends, she's in Germany and she catches us sometime, and she also has a show. But I told my friend, she interviewed me one day. So I told her, I said, sometimes you can tell what kind of mood I'm in by how I am on my lives. So I said, if I'm having a really, really good day, I said, I'm going to have eyeshadow on. I'm going to have my earrings on. I'm gonna have my necklace on, have a lip gloss on. So I'm having a really good day today. I say, but when I come on there, I don't have no eyeshadow on. But I got lipstick on, or you could tell when I'm struggling, because I know I told them, what to look for. So she'll inbox me and she'll say, sis, you okay today? Like, I get the little inboxes, but I thank God for my tribe. I thank God, that I'm not to the point to where I don't want nobody to know what's going on with me. I want people to know, because I want people to be able to say, Angela, you got something going on. What's going on, sis? You need some help? I want my tribe to know, hey, we here for you. That's what people need to know, that they have somebody that they can depend on, that they can lean on, that they're not in this alone. So I definitely I thank you for coming. I want you to share how they can get in contact with you.
You guys can contact me at Facebook. My fan page is Prevailing Over My Storms. I'm just now starting the YouTube page. I haven't got it all together yet. I'm gonna get it probably by the top of the year. It's gonna be great. Right now, I'm just trying to work some stuff out. But Facebook and Instagram is Prevailing Over My Storm, so you guys can reach me there. Or if you can't find me under that, it's Jasmine Lynne Flunder. You guys can buy the book at Amazon.com. And if you look it up in Google, it kind of comes up on a lot of platforms that I just realized about not too long ago. So you guys can get it on those platforms as well.
So I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much.
So I've been asking everybody, my word this month is power. And I want you to share with me what that word means to you.
Power. Strength. In strength you get power. For me. Being able to have in my mouth there's power, because either I can create life or death. So for me, if I'm able to speak life, that's my power of saying, okay, you can make it. That's my way of pushing power out. People may say power over, over companies and all that stuff. That's good. But for me, it's more so of pushing this power of life out. That's a big thing for me, because it was somebody that's pushed that power they had in them, their life into me. Because at first I felt lifeless. So that's what power means to me.
So I want to share with you what God shared on that word. He wrote down each letter. So the P is position. We have to position ourselves. I mean that we have to be willing to overcome. So you got to get the education. You got to do all the things to put yourself in a position so that when things come at you, you can overcome them.
Right.
And then you got to be willing. You got to be that willing vessel. We can't get all this education. We can't get all this knowledge and just sit on it. It does nobody any good if you sitting on it. Right. So you got to be willing to go out. You got to be willing to go out and share. And you are that willing vessel. You right here on the show, Shelley. You wrote your book. You sharing. You've been writing. You share your testimony. You sharing in your church. You're willing to empower others. Your resilience, because you didn't give up. That's the O, the W, the E, the R. See, the word don't told us what the dictionary, Webster, and all them other people don't told us what that word's supposed to mean. But God shared with me personally what that word meant to me. So He downloaded it to me. And let me tell you, I was on Facebook, and I was sharing with one of the co-authors that was joining the project, the writing project. And she said something on Facebook, and she said, well, I want to be a part of both projects. And I said, okay. And I began to tell her that her voice was power. And it's like He began to download that into me right then while I was telling her that. But I didn't want to post all that on Facebook because I didn't know where she was. So I asked her if I can go in her inbox. So I went in her inbox and I told her. I said, I didn't know. I said, I had to be obedient. I said, I want to tell you. I said, I don't know what you're going through. I said, but whatever you're going through, I said, share. I said, people gonna tell you, don't share this, don't share this, don't share this. I said, but you share whatever will heal you. I said, you share for healing. That lady told me, she said, I needed everything you just said. And I said some more things, but she said, I needed everything you just said. She said, let me tell you something. She said, my daughter's been suicidal. She said she came off her medicine. She tried to commit suicide. She said, I cried out to God. I've been crying out. I've been praying. I've been seeking God. She said, and you share this with me. I shared the suicide awareness book with her. I shared all this stuff with her. I said, baby, you got to speak life over your baby. I said, we're not putting nothing in our baby, but we're expecting our babies to put out. We got to put something in them.
Yep.
So I thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you for coming on today. I thank you for being transparent. I thank you for sharing. And I want you to know if there's anything that I can do to assist you on your journey, as an author, please feel free to reach out to me. Of course, I'm the founder of AALAC and the CEO of Aspiring Authors Magazine. And my desire is just to bring awareness to brown authors all over this world. Our magazine is all over the place. We have writers. My editor is actually out of Africa. She born, raised, and still resides in Leicester, Africa. We have writers in Nigeria, the UK, the Virgin Islands, all over the place. When I tell you, and you would think I've had this magazine forever. God just opened the door for me to get this magazine in May during COVID-19. When you talked about COVID-19, that's why when I said, when you was talking about COVID-19, you know, I've been wanting to come on and say something, but I just wanted to let you share. But I just moved to Myrtle Beach from Atlanta. February in the midst of the pandemic. I was not a radio host. I just come back on Facebook in February, to be honest. After all, I lost my dad last year. I went through my illness. I was in hospital in Atlanta for 21 days.
Wow.
I just got released from doctor's care last year, 2019 in December. So when I moved to Myrtle Beach, you know, I was still kind of going, you know, getting back to myself, but God. So I found the job, and in the midst of that, long story short, the week of my birthday, I lost my job. They fired me because they laid me off, and then they called me back, and I didn't want to go back because, you know, laid me off. But you call me back and you tell me that somebody else's health is more important than mine. Pretty much, that's what they pretty much told me, because they said that somebody else needed to be off because they're more high risk than me. But you didn't think about that when you laid me off. You laid me off because I was the last one hired. You were thinking about their welfare, and you was thinking about them because of their race, and I know that. But so you know what? God still provided. Not only am I able to do these shows and share people's story, I have a radio show on Sadora Radio, and my amazing station owner is on. Not only I was doing a show on first and third Sundays. Now I'm doing a show every Sunday from 8 to 10, starting in December.
Wow.
And that was nothing but God. I take credit for nothing that I do. I'm just a willing vessel.
Oh, yeah.
I put myself in a position. I said, you know what? Because I'm tired of hurting people. I've been hurt for so long, and I've been through so much in my life. I refuse to hurt anybody else. So I have to allow my life to be a living example. We can't keep saying these things like you say. We can't keep saying these things. Our life should be an example. When I walk in a room, when people see me, what you see should be what you get from me. Right. I shouldn't open my mouth and say anything. You should see love. I should exhibit love. And that's what's missing in this world today.
Well, I'm trying to tell you.
I don't even know where all this is going, but you know, I thank God for you guys that has tuned in today. I thank God for you. We're gonna have to continue this. I'm gonna reach out to you. I'm gonna extend some of my platforms to you, because I have platforms you can come on and be a part of. Of course, my amazing show over on Sadora Radio. Y'all, when I tell you God is amazing, I'm on the Damon Network, which is on O&E Dynasty, which is a part of Blog Talk Radio. I was on last night at 9:30. We had 3 million connections. First host. I was the first host in the history of the network, and the network has been in existence for 8 years, and I've only been on the network since April. Now you can't, you don't tell me what God won't do. Right. A little girl from Levelland, South Carolina, that nobody never heard of. That's been through the ringers, and people look at me. A lot of people probably looking at me like, who is she? Who she thinks she is? Oh, well, I'm a child of God. Right. He is using to share other people's stories, so people know that they don't have to go through this alone. You can follow me if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You got to. Right. God say speak, and I'm what God say do, and that is what it is. Yes, ma'am. Sister, I thank you. You are a blessing. Again, I want you to share with them how they can get in contact with you, just in case we had some people jump on that did not hear how they can get in contact with you. I want you to show that book again. Okay. You guys can follow me at Instagram, Prevailing Over My Storms.
You guys can follow me on Facebook, Prevailing on My Storms, the fan page. Also, I'll be starting a YouTube page in January. I started it, but like I said, I'll be working some stuff out, trying to get that out, trying to get content out about certain things like my fibroids that I deal with, trying to do fibroid awareness because it's a lot dealing with that. I dealt with that as well these last 6 years, back and forth to the hospital, getting blood transfusion just about every 6 months, 3 to 6 months. So trying to get stuff out so people can understand this is serious. It's not just this fibroids are serious in general. I always wanted to understand, what are these things? Like, what is it? I'm 30 and I've literally had 27 removed in 2014, June of 2014. Here it is now. I got to get like almost 40 removed in January or February, and I'm only 30. So I said, Lord, whatever you got planned, just go ahead and take this stuff out so I can maneuver because I can't. I'm dealing with severe anemia and I'm dealing with so much other stuff that the doctors are doing they're not supposed to be doing. So I'm like, I want to be able to give awareness to women that's going through fibroids, definitely African American community, because we the majority that's what we somehow we get them. I know it's heredity, but I want to be able to give awareness for that depression on my YouTube page. I want to be able to extend that hand, like you said, to people that need that help and that information. Because, like I said, sometimes the doctor don't tell you everything you need to know. So you want to be able to be knowledgeable of what is what. Like they called me a couple weeks ago and said the doctor gave me too much contrast dye. So too much contrast can cause adverse reaction, meaning down the line I can have issues and problems. Okay, what's the name of this so I can know? So if you can't come tell me what's not what and what this thing didn't say because I didn't search it for myself. So as a people, we got to be able to understand too, know the information for yourself, because if you know the information for yourself, pretty much you can learn, but you can be like, no, I got my research, and I want to be able to on that platform, on any platform I'm on, I want to be able to give awareness because, like I said, it's somebody out here that needs it. I don't know who's dealing with fibroids. I don't know who's dealing with severe anemia. I don't know. I don't know who's dealing with depression. I don't know, but it's somebody out here. It's a lot of people in this world. And like you said, it's going to get to somebody and somebody will be like, man, they helped me out today. They helped me because we just, like we said, we don't know. We just willing vessels that's willing to say, hey, this is what God said and this will need to be done. It's up to you if you want to change, you want to be open enough to get out what you need to say. So, and here is the book again.
And that is your power. It is definitely your power. But I thank you though for real because my niece she suffer with fibroids and she actually had to have a hysterectomy. She did have a miracle child because they did tell her that she was not going to be able to have kids because when she lived in Atlanta she had about 4 or 5 blood transfusions. And I think when she got to South Carolina, they was able to kind of find out really what was going on with her, and she started to get some help. But she was able to have her miracle child. She did have to have a hysterectomy, so she won't be able to have any more kids. But yeah, I definitely know that struggle, and there's a lot of people that suffer with it and suffer with it in silence. So definitely, there are a couple of people on the platform that does bring awareness. So y'all definitely need to connect together. And you know what, God is so good because before your interview I interviewed a PA and she does books. She just did a book on for kids about visiting their primary doctor. And you know how kids would be scared to go to the doctor, they don't want to go to the doctor, they cry. So she's doing books and stuff to trying to reach the kids and making the kids comfortable with themselves and knowing what's what. So I can tell you this has truly been in line with God today.
Yes, ma'am.
On one accord. So I thank you. I thank you for connecting with me. I thank you for allowing me to do this interview and allowing to share you across my platform. Is there anything that you would like to leave with those that are tuned in right now and those that will tune in later?
I would like to tell everybody to push and prevail. Like I said, we can all, if you just talk about it, there's somebody here to talk to you. And you got people out here that's going through the same thing or been through the same thing that you're going through. So, like my book say, prevailing over my storms, meaning prevailing is exactly what it means. Still prevailing. It's the ing on the end. It's continuation. So that means I'm still prevailing. I didn't say prevail, meaning past tense. I said prevailing. So prevail over your storm, because you know it's not a overnight thing, but you'll be able to get through it. Just push through, pray, read the scripture, and surround yourself with positive people. That has always been my thing. Surrounding my people. I think I told you and a few other women that I met, Miss Angela, that I was like, I appreciate the sisterhood, because I see some of the stuff that you put up on there, and I'm like, oh, I gotta share that. Oh yeah. And I was like, it's a support, sister supporting sisters. That's a big thing. Like, you support me, I support you. And like I said, I only take a minute to share, but what you may have said 2 weeks ago helped me out, and something I've been maybe going through this week, or something I said 3 weeks ago may have helped you out with something last week. So we don't know, but the object is to encourage people and to lift up people and let them know that, we as a Christian people, because we sometimes forget in Christianity, we still go through a process through Christianity. This is nothing that, oh, you perfect. No, one person that was perfect was Jesus. So on that note, we need to get back to, like you said, the love and the encouragement and lifting people up. Because once upon a time, it was, sister, what you need? I got you. What's wrong? Brother, what's wrong? Now it's me. And somewhere down the line, we got lost. And that's what God trying to get us back to. And we didn't forgot. And so my objective is to be able to want to push and prevail. Just keep pushing and keep prevailing.
Amen. Amen. Well, I definitely want to thank you for coming on today.
Thank you so much.
And I pray that you have a blessed rest of your day and a wonderful weekend.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You guys have been tuned in to Up Close and Personal with Angela on behalf of Aspiring Authors Magazine. I tell you, I have truly been blessed on today. I hope you guys have been blessed. If you are not following the magazine's page, please go over and follow the magazine's page. If you're not following the YouTube, please go over and follow our YouTube page. This will be uploaded to our YouTube channel as well. If you have been inspired, if you have been encouraged, if you have been uplifted, please share this broadcast with someone. You never know what someone may be going through. I tell you, I've been inspired. I've been encouraged on today. And I pray that you have been too. I pray that you have a blessed rest of your day. I love you with the love of Christ.